ground.
What's up, guys? It's Quinn.
It's Alex.
It's Iconiccomic, and we're back. And I'm not even going to call this a review. We're ready to rant about Transformers The Last Night.
Usually when we do movie reviews, we do it mullet style.
We're still going to do it mullet style.
For those of you that don't know, it is non-spoiler review in the front, spoilers in the back. We're still doing it
We're still going to do mullet style, but the difference is it's going to be the good things in the front and the garbage in the back. So, like normal, the beginning will be the shortest part. And then we'll get to the bad stuff. So, be warned, we're just going to go spoilers for this one because this is almost going to be a warning to you people.
Okay, so, do you want to start or do you want me to start? What about good? I'll start. Okay.
Do you have a lot of good?
No.
I gave you some good, like in the car when we were on the way home.
Okay, so the best part about this movie was the T-shirt.
It is a
pretty slick T-shirt. We got this. We got our tickets, got the glasses, and then they gave us a T-shirt. It's pretty slick. The second greatest part was Bumblebee. I thought he was cool. Third best part of the movie was the end.
Like when it was over.
When it was over.
The movie is visually beautiful. We can agree on that. It looks great.
I wouldn't even say beautiful.
Okay, it looks great.
There was just a lot of explosions and fire and boom.
Here's the thing. All right, this is like the good is kind of mixed with the like. I don't want to get too much into the bad, but the choreography, the action choreography is awesome. I just don't care. I'm not invested.
Yeah. What I was saying. Are we going into the bad? Because I'm about to go into what I didn't like.
Let me put some more good out there.
Go ahead, because I'm about to. I'm fitting a tear into it.
Okay. For the time that Optimus Prime was in there, I enjoyed Optimus Prime. It's hard not to enjoy Optimus Prime. You know what I mean? Like it's
okay. All
like
right.
for the, and we'll get into why that's also a bad thing later. Mark Wahlberg was fine. Like his character, he acted very well in the movie.
I feel like his character has always been kind of strong, you know.
I prefer him to the Shia LaBeouf character.
Yeah.
I knew there was one other thing. I'm losing. Music is good. Music's always good in Transformers. Like it was, they even like kind of had some throwback in there. Like they had like some Arrival to Earth at one point. I don't know if you heard it. Like I kind of nudged you. It's like, oh, the music, like.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Oh.
I was just too angry.
Yeah. So, fuck. Let's just get into it.
Okay. So let me start by saying this. This movie
pissed me off.
Well, not only that. Okay, for those of you that have seen Full Metal Jacket, all of the insults that the drill sergeant is saying to all the maggots applies to this movie. Everything about it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, ugh.
The biggest.
Good lord! You didn't even get any story, any plot until what? 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, and then they try to shove it down your throat, and there's no time.
I was so angry because, like, at least with the other ones, you found out what was going on pretty early, but. The whole, like, the first 3/4 of the movie, it was just like I was watching the trailer all over again. Don't go see this movie. What you get out of this movie, you got out of the trailers. If you want to watch if you want to watch the movie, just watch the trailers. That's the movie. I'm getting really heated. Why don't you go?
Yeah. The reason why the first Transformers, in my opinion, is great. Mm-hmm. Is because it's simple.
Yeah.
It's a simple story. There's a cube, both the Decepticons and the Autobots are after the cube. That's your story. It's simple, and it works, because it's fighting robots. You don't need to overcomplicate it.
No.
This overcomplicated it. Dude. But, like he said, sometimes overcomplicating a story and making it very heavy is good for to make the franchise different, like down the road.
I definitely agree.
But when you only start explaining that heavy story midway through the movie, there's no time. And like I said, we're going to talk some spoilers just because there's no way not to.
It was not even midway.
It was at least three quarters.
It was 3/4 of the way in, and then this big information dump.
And it was that was Anthony Hopkins' role in the movie.
I liked him in the movie.
I liked him.
I thought he was good.
Although
he was a little senile, which kind of works for him.
The humor in this movie,
Dude.
they treat the audience like they're idiots. Like they hit you over the head with it.
None of the jokes hit. I mean,
like 3 or 4 maybe. And most of them were Anthony Hopkins.
Maybe 3 or 4.
Like hearing Anthony Hopkins say "shut the hell up" is just funny, and I don't even think that was meant to be the joke, but it was funny. But there was one joke that I chuckled at the first time, and then they tried to hit it again, and I was like, stop. And I'll just tell you what it was. Anthony Hopkins is giving his information dump, and he's got like a butler robot, which when he was first introduced, I kind of liked him. And then I was like, fuck this character, about 10 more minutes. But he's explaining, the history of the Witwickies and the Transformers and King Arthur and that stuff. And you're hearing this epic music on an organ. And the robot's playing the organ like to get epic music. I was like, that was funny. All right, whatever. And he's like, shut up, whatever. I'm trying to tell the story. And he starts telling it again. And there's like opera music then, which I didn't even think they were going to go back to the joke. I'm like, oh, that was just music they were playing. Then it's the robot singing the opera music like, oh. I'm like, am I watching this right now?
What am I even watching?
Like, what is going on? But the joke, and it makes me angry because the first 2 minutes of this movie, I was like, oh my god.
Dude, I was in.
I was
like, you know what? The trailers finally did it justice. I was in on like the last trailer. The movie's playing. I'm all in.
Because before the movie, in all honesty, right before the movie, we both said, I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous that it's going to be bad. But then it starts in medieval times with King Arthur battling, I don't know who they were battling, I forget.
The part he's about to say instantly ripped me out of the movie, and I didn't get back in.
It ripped me out. It didn't completely, it was like a halfway rip out, and it was like...
Okay. Can we change the wording?
Okay, it was like, that's the best it's going to get, because I was about to say something worse. It pulled me out slightly, and I was like, that's when I got nervous. So it's King Arthur in the medieval times with this battle, and King Arthur's guys are getting pushed back and whatever, and they're having this meeting with the knights and King Arthur at the very back of the battlefield while the soldiers are up here, and it looked amazing. That's the thing. Michael Bay, look, he's made great movies, but visually he makes great action.
I think right now he needs to just be a consultant.
No, he needs to do just whatever. We'll get to that.
Okay.
And King Arthur basically tells his guys, we're not giving up. We have to wait for Merlin. Cut to, now when I say this, and if you haven't seen the movie, and you're just watching this, spoilers or not, with this movie, honestly, even the spoilers, you're not going to understand the story. You know what I mean? So, when I say this, you're going to be like,
I'm reliving it.
There's no way that this happened.
I'm reliving this because you're saying it.
He goes, we have to wait for Merlin. Cut to Stanley Tucci with a beard, riding a horse,
sloshed,
just drunk, and he even says, it's a different word, but I'm just going to paraphrase, in medieval accent, golly, I'm sloshed, takes a chug of liquor, and and starts riding away, and I'm like, what are we watching now? What happened?
At first, I didn't know it was Stanley Tucci. I didn't know it was him at first.
No, it took me like I had to, because it was good makeup and beard and everything, but I was just like, once I figured it out, I was like, why?
Why would they do that?
He was in the last movie as a completely different. Are they saying he's related to Merlin? No, because Merlin was related to the Witwickies. And the Witwickies, and now apparently the Witwickies aren't even like a bloodline family. It's more of like a club. It's like the Freemasons.
What did they say? They said what they were. They weren't a club. They weren't a clan. They were.
They were knights, basically.
An order.
In order of the wikis or something, and the John Turteltaub, whatever his name is, from the first trilogy, is back, and he serves just about as much purpose as everybody else in this movie. Zip, and
when you're done with this point, I want to make a point.
Is it about the girl?
Nope. It's about something completely different.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters in this movie with zero substance and zero. Like, there is so much. If this was a piece of meat, this movie, it would be all gristle, because it's just fat that could have been cut away. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many characters had zero purpose in this film, including Transformers.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of the Autobots or the Decepticons except for Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Megatron. That is it. And that's why this movie is not as good as even Revenge of the Fallen. Because even in Revenge of the Fallen, there were Decepticons and Autobots that I had connections with. They just shoved these Autobots and Decepticons that you don't care anything about in your face.
Can I talk about
Go
this,
ahead.
like the Suicide Squad part?
Go ahead, that part.
Okay.
In any other movie, it'd be fine.
Look, but if you just look at that scene, it was a kind of cool scene. If you just cut out the whole entire movie and just have that scene, it was pretty cool. So, I can't believe I just said that. So, basically, with Megatron, what was the...
He's cutting a deal with the humans to give him the location to this weapon. See, the story's already convoluted, isn't it?
So, then Megatron... He said, basically, he stole a line from, like, Fast and Furious. Like, I need my crew. I think he actually said, I need my crew.
I can't remember, but if he said that, it makes me even more
I
mad.
think he actually did say that.
Megatron wouldn't say crew.
But he's naming all these Decepticons, these evil Transformers.
Which you have no idea who they are.
You have no idea who they are, and they looked kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's just like...
But then he would say a name, and they would check to see if it was okay. And then, just like in Suicide Squad, where they were going through all the people, that it would pop up with the Decepticon.
Well, they would do something to be slow-mo, and while it was slow-mo...
Like the name would...
Like in football team lettering. Like.
Exactly. Which, I will say this on record, if you take that scene just as it is, and you had that in a trailer... I would kind of be pumped up.
But it didn't fit with the tone.
It did not fit whatsoever, and the Decepticons, no idea who they even were. And who were you saying, like, if he said this person...
If they were, like, Starscream,
Devastator,
Scorpononic, or whatever.
You don't even remember! See, we don't even remember.
Soundwave. Yeah. There's one. Bone Crusher. If the ones like from the TV show and the first movie were like being named off, I've been like, oh, here we go.
It's like, all right, now we got to fight.
Exactly.
And they were beaten pretty easily.
Yeah.
His crew were beaten by the humans. Like it was easy.
And like what made the first like trilogy of Transformers movies great? The Decepticons usually kick the Autobots' ass.
And they had to
more
retreat.
Times than none.
Yeah.
Like, Optimus Prime got his ass handed to him a lot by Megatron. And he would always have to come back. And he would, and that's what made it cool. In this one, the Autobots were just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Bah, 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 bah. They were like tissue paper. And, like, sometimes I look at some of the Decepticons that he chose for his crew. I'm like, that's a poor decision. Like, there was one that was about the size of, like a bicycle. I was like, what is this
Mohawk?
one? Yeah. There's one called Mohawk, and he talks like, kind of like Wheelie, which, another character where I'm like, unnecessary.
He was, how tall do you think he was? Like maybe 10 feet tall?
He was maybe from...
10 to 12 feet tall.
Yeah, a 10-foot tall, but compared to Megatron, it's like, this is like, Bumblebee will step on you.
Peon, just...
Exactly, and he did.
Literally.
I will tell you, Wheelie, though, as much as I hate that stupid character, the little one, he was better in this one than he was in, like, Revenge of the Fallen and, Dark of the Moon.
Can we talk about the girl for a second?
We need to reel it in so we're not like going all over the place. So yeah, let's talk about again.
Or do you want me to make my point that I was going to make earlier? You know what? I'm going to make my point that I was going to make earlier.
Go for it.
My biggest issue with this movie is that, you know, it started off really intense with this medieval battle. And heart was pumping. I'm like, my eyes were open. I was eating it all up. And it didn't calm down. Like to have a good movie, to have the parts really intense, feel intense, is you got to boom, build it up in the very beginning with that big battle, and then you got to calm it back down. Then you get some story, and then you build it back up again.
There was no levity.
This movie got to here and stayed right here.
They're always moving.
And about 3/4 of the way in, info dump, and then I was I just got numb.
At that point, I was like tired. Like it was like I'm done now.
Exactly. Like
spent.
That how do I want to say this? A good movie should be like a marathon. You pace yourself. They sprinted. They were so intense for like an hour and a half of just intense action, and then by like the first quarter of the movie, I was just numb to it. So that big part where he takes a sword and cuts
like
7 people at the same time, like that didn't hit.
No, they were okay. So we also talked about it last night. It's what makes Marvel movies so good is like they'll hit you with something heavy, like dark, then they'll lighten it up a little bit with a little comedic tone from some character that it makes sense with, not like Optimus Prime cracking a joke. Like it makes sense for Star-Lord to say something funny. It's like, all right, we're leveled out a little bit. Then they hit you with the action, bring it back, something heavy happens. Like
exactly.
It's like it moves like this.
Literally.
That's how it works.
Guardians Volume 2, they had that big space battle with that giant alien, and then immediately back down, being honored by that race people? I forget. The gold people.
Shit.
I forget. But it was up here, it was super intense, and then immediately just okay. Like,
and then in that scene, there was humor.
There were humor in the right places.
There was not most of the time, and there is sometimes, but most of the time, the humor isn't in the middle of this epic battle.
Yeah.
Like, golly, I'm sloshed. Like, what was that? Are you kidding me?
You know what would have been awesome? If they kept that epic music and he's just riding through the land. That would have been cool.
That just got me pumped up.
And then you see the staff.
I wouldn't even care if it was Stanley Tucci. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even care if it was epic. Like just...
Then you see the staff.
Like Gandalf.
That's what see.
Where the light starts shining, and then a 3-headed Transformers dragon's following from behind. We should write this movie.
We could have wrote it better.
Dude, a monkey could have wrote it better. I'm trying to like think of anything else. Okay, Optimus Prime. I want to talk about Optimus Prime. If you were to believe the trailers, you would have been mistaken, because Optimus Prime was probably in this about 11 minutes of total screen time. He was almost not even in this movie, which I think was a little bit of false advertising.
Yeah.
And also, once you figure out who the Last Knight is, you're probably going to be pissed off. I'm just going to... Oh, wait. It's a spoiler. Fucking Mark Wahlberg is the Last Knight.
Mark Wahlberg.
And I love Mark Wahlberg, but I'm just like... That don't make no sense.
What I hated was like with Mark Wahlberg and what's her face?
The little girl that's in the trailers?
No. Like the main...
The girl who kind of looks like Angelina Jolie's like stepsister.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she looks like a knockoff Angelina.
So, Mark Wahlberg's love interest in that movie.
I wouldn't even want to call it that.
Oh, it made me so mad when
it's a forced love interest.
It was so... Okay, anyway, she was a descendant of the Witwickies, and he was the Last Knight. So, like, that just didn't make any sense.
That makes my head hurt.
It makes my head hurt. Like, why is Mark Wahlberg chosen the Last Knight? If anyone would have been the Last Knight, would have been Shia LaBeouf. Let's be honest here.
Like, I almost wish it would have just... I almost wish Shia LaBeouf didn't go on a crazy rampage. Like,
And just stayed with it?
I would have been okay if I had 6 Shia LaBeouf Transformers movies. You know, instead
or
of...
start with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I mean, either way, but... Again, it comes back to there's no substance in this movie.
There was no substance.
It's a bunch of... It's visual noise and a lot... I called the movie loud, hot garbage when we came out of it, because that's what it was. It was like, in the beginning, the visuals and the action, I was like, I buy this. And then it was just things exploding that you couldn't even see what was going on.
Can I rant about
a lot of shaky cam stuff. But even though it looked cool, it was like, what's going on?
Can I rant about the relationship really quick?
I mean, sure.
Oh my god. Okay, so they started hating each other. They started off hating each other.
Mark Wahlberg
and
I can't remember her name.
Whatever her name was. They started off like just didn't like each other, didn't get along, and then all of a sudden, boom, she was throwing him the Doomy vibe.
Exactly.
The thing, the medallion thing was crawling all over him, and it went down his pants.
Where did that go, by the way?
I don't know. It went down.
Exactly.
It went down his...
No, like, where'd it go at the end of the movie?
Oh my god, I don't even know.
Exactly.
I don't even know. So anyway, it goes down in his pants, and then she's like, well, like, we should, try to fix the problem. We should follow that, see where it goes. And I'm like, oh my god, like, how do you like someone that quick? And then I lean over to him, like, if they kiss, I'm gonna be pissed. And sure enough, I mean, she was turning away, and it was one of these, like, pulled by the arm.
Okay,
I was like,
I will say,
my god,
the kiss was put in a better spot than I thought it was gonna be put. Like, it was almost put in a spot where I would have probably walked out. Like, it was pretty close.
Oh my god, it made me so mad.
Last thing I'm going to talk about is, overall, my problem with every Transformers movie since the first one, and the same thing with the Ninja Turtle movies. They don't give a fuck about the Transformers in these movies. They think that apparently they think we care more about the humans. I'm not going to see a movie called Transformers to care about the humans. And which is why we don't get emotionally invested into the Transformers.
Yeah.
So I'm not emotionally invested into these new Turtles in the Ninja Turtle movies.
Who?
Exactly. They focus on Megan Fox and who's the other guy in the Ninja Turtle movies?
Oh, I know his name.
Will Arnett.
Yeah, Will Arnett.
And I like Will Arnett, and I tolerate Megan Fox, but I'm not going to the movie to see them. And then they're like, oh, they obviously care about Mark Wahlberg and this little Isabella with a Z girl and this other British girl and
she served no purpose.
And Stanley Tucci way more than Optimus Prime, who gets 11 minutes of screen time. No,
when you think Transformers, you don't think Mark Wahlberg's love interest.
I say Transformers, you probably think of 2 words right off the bat, or 2 things: Optimus Prime or Bumblebee. Those are probably the 2 things that pop in your mind first, and then Megatron and all that other stuff. And it makes me so angry just to like.
God, I'm sweating. I'm so mad.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to score this thing?
Do I? I don't really want to. I don't know.
I'm gonna score it, and then you can score it. All right. Overall, I thought this was definitely the worst Transformers movie we've ever gotten. This makes Age of Extinction look like Hamlet. Like it makes Age of Extinction look Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Like I said, the positives, it looks good. I mean, look.
Great opening.
Great opening.
The premise, though, I liked the premise, how it was all connected to King Arthur, and they were the knights. I liked that.
But real quick, the Nazi thing, that served no purpose. Like, they made it seem like all the articles and stuff when the movie was coming out that Nazis were going to be a huge part of this movie. It was like a 20-second scene.
If that.
What this movie did do was it sold the crap. Wow. Sorry. It sold the...
See, that movie made your IQ drop.
It sold the crap out of a Bumblebee standalone film.
I'm into that.
and it's going to be set in the past, in 1985.
Thank God.
And it's not being directed by Michael Bay. I'm in with that movie because Bumblebee was kind of badass in here. They definitely made the focus Autobot Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Which, in the past, it's been Optimus. Maybe that was their goal, but still. Oh, I'm sorry. God, I know I wanted to give this a score, but I have to say this. As much as I love Optimus Prime, we know your name, buddy. He said,
you don't have
I
to...
am Optimus Prime at least 10 times.
Yeah.
At least 10 times, if not more. He said it when he shows up. He said it. He says it to everybody he sees. It's like, dude, who else would you be? We know you're Optimus Prime. Like, if Optimus Prime came up to me and goes, like, Quinn, I know.
It's like, I know.
I know who you are. All right, so I'm scoring this thing. I'm giving it a...
Wait. What if he actually... Well, what if he said, like, he didn't say his name, but he's like...
I am Bill.
like, you know who I am. You know why I'm here. Or something.
And then, like, I would go... Say it. Just say it. Like,
I know, like you want him to say it, but then you don't want him to say it.
They oversaturated the, like, I am Optimus Prime line for sure. I'm going to score this thing. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. That is the lowest score I've given a movie in a long time.
I was going to be generous and give it a 4. But
the more I talk...
The more... doing this review... I'm dropping it to a 3 as well.
I gave it like almost a 6 when we left, and he gave it like a 5.5. You gave it a 5.5 when you left.
I did?
Yeah, you said 5.5. I was like, I might give it 6 just because Optimus Prime was cool, whatever. Talking about it and like letting everything out, I was like, this movie does not. It's a 3. It's a 3 out of 10, which is an average 3 out of 10 for both of us.
Jeez.
I mean,
movie was bad.
They need to reboot this whole thing. With a different director.
They need to start from scratch.
Exactly.
But do they use...
But they're not going to because there's a goddamn post-credit scene with Unicron in it. Like, I thought Unicron was going to be a part of this. But he wasn't. Unicron is...
Earth.
Unicron is Earth. That's so
Unicron is
stupid.
Earth is Unicron. Unicron is Earth.
I mean, it's...
Cats and dogs are living together. Mass hysteria.
Alright, well, we could go on and on and on and on about our problems with this movie, and we probably will when we do our podcast next.
Oh, God.
So, if you enjoyed what you saw here today...
If you enjoyed our video, our film...
of tearing into this thing, and look, if you like this movie, that's the great thing about film. I'm not going to make fun of someone who likes this movie. But look, I'm not, because film...
I know, we just tore into it. You're like, it's okay if you like it. It's okay to be wrong.
Film is subjective. If you like this movie...
Great kids movie.
No, here's the thing. No, it's way too confusing for kids.
No, they don't have to follow it. That is when a kid can sit down and just and watch.
If you like this movie, I'm happy for you. Because you found something that I couldn't in a Transformers movie.
Well said.
You know what I mean?
Well said.
I wanted to love this.
Leading up to it, like, I want to hate it, but I can't. Now I can.
Now I can. Like, I've liked all of them up to this point.
All right, let's close this out.
I'm sorry. If you liked the video, if you like our tearing into this thing, make sure you guys like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe
so you guys don't miss a single thing from the channel. Don't forget, we have officially opened up Iconiccomic.com, where you can go check out not only our podcast, but you can learn a little bit more about us, and very soon you can get some Iconic Comic merchandise within the next few weeks. Also, don't forget iTunes podcast app. Just search Iconic Comic on your left podcast.
Make sure you stay tuned.
Stay iconic.
And cue music.
Holy Grail.